The air on Moraband was not merely cold, it was ancient, heavy with the weight of millennia of dark-side energies. A planet scarred, a monument to a power that twisted life into despair. It was here, in this desolate cradle of malevolence, that one of the galaxy's wisest figures sought answers, driven by an unsettling premonition, a disturbance in the very fabric of the Force. He ventured into its deepest, most corrupted reaches, not with a weapon drawn in anger, but with a spirit open to understanding, however painful that understanding might be. As he delved deeper, the veil between reality and vision grew thin. The whispers of the past, the echoes of unimaginable suffering, began to coalesce. And then, it was upon him, a haunting, vivid tableau, not of a distant future, but of a present that mirrored the very chaos he feared. Before his mind's eye, the familiar, stoic figures of clone troopers materialized, their white armor stark against a backdrop of encroaching shadows and the crimson glow of malevolent energy. They were engaged in a desperate losing battle, not against an enemy they could comprehend, but against an invisible, insidious force. He watched, frozen in a silent anguish, as flashes of vibrant, terrifying Sith lightning tore through their ranks. These were not the controlled bursts of a tactical engagement, but raw, unbridled torrents of dark energy designed for utter obliteration. The clones, for all their training, their discipline, and their ingrained loyalty, stood no chance. Their bodies, once symbols of the Republic's unwavering might, buckled under the assault. They fell, not with the defiant cry of heroes, but with a sudden, devastating finality, their forms sprawling across the desolate ground. As the vision unfolded, he found himself walking amongst them, a silent observer in this spectral battlefield. He stepped carefully, reverently, past the fallen. There was no anger in him, no judgment, no condemnation for what they represented in this harrowing premonition of the Jedi's end. Instead, a profound sorrow settled upon his aged features, lines deepening around his wise eyes. He looked not at enemies, not at the instruments of betrayal, but at victims. His heart ached, not for a tactical defeat, but for a profound, tragic perversion of what was once good. In that moment, the true horror of the dark side's grip became chillingly clear. These were the soldiers who had stood shoulder to shoulder with the Jedi, who had fought valiantly for peace and justice across the galaxy. They had been brothers in arms, comrades through countless campaigns. Yet, here they lay, struck down by a power that had transformed them from protectors into unwitting destroyers, from allies into puppets of a malevolent will. They were, in his eyes, not traitors, but valiant men, tragically manipulated, their wills hijacked, their very essence twisted against everything they were created to defend. This was not a vision designed to harden his resolve through anger, but to expand his compassion through sorrow. He grieved not just for the Jedi, who would surely fall, but for these very soldiers, the instruments of their destruction, who were themselves deeply, irrevocably harmed. Their sacrifice was twofold, first in their service, and then in their involuntary role as agents of darkness. They were, in his eyes, not traitors, but valiant men, tragically manipulated, their wills hijacked, their very essence twisted against everything they were created to defend. This was not a vision designed to harden his resolve through anger, but to expand his compassion through sorrow. He grieved not just for the Jedi, who would surely fall, but for these very soldiers, the instruments of their destruction, who were themselves deeply, irrevocably harmed. Their sacrifice was twofold, first in their service, and then in their involuntary role as agents of darkness. Their deaths, orchestrated by a hidden hand, were a stark testament to the dark side's ultimate depravity, its ability to corrupt the purest intentions, to turn valor into a weapon against itself. This was not a vision designed to harden his resolve through anger, but to expand his compassion through sorrow.
He grieved not just for the Jedi, who would surely fall, but for these very soldiers, the instruments of their destruction, who were themselves deeply, irrevocably harmed. Their sacrifice was twofold, first in their service, and then in their involuntary role as agents of darkness. Their deaths, orchestrated by a hidden hand, were a stark testament to the dark side's ultimate depravity, its ability to corrupt the purest intentions, to turn valor into a weapon against itself. The vision faded, leaving him standing once more in the echoing silence of Moraband, but the images, and more importantly, the feelings lingered. This encounter cemented a truth far deeper than any battle strategy or lightsaber form. It was a realization that true compassion extends beyond allegiance, beyond the lines drawn by conflict. It encompasses even those seemingly arrayed against you, especially when they are merely pawns in a grander, more sinister game. His sorrow for those fallen clone troopers wasn't a weakness. It was a testament to the boundless capacity of the light side of the Force, a capacity for empathy that could embrace even the most tragic casualties of a galactic conflict. It illuminated the core difference between the path he walked and the path of shadows. The dark side sought to divide, to corrupt, to use and discard. The light, however, sought to understand, to heal, and to mourn even those who, by circumstance, become instruments of its enemies. This profound insight, born amidst the darkness of Moraband, allowed him to see beyond malice, to recognize the inherent worth and the tragic plight of every being, even those tragically swept up in the tides of war and deceit. It was a vision of sorrow, yes, but also one of incredible, expanding compassion. The story of his vision on Moraband is a powerful reminder that true wisdom often involves looking beyond the surface, beyond the labels of enemy or ally, to the shared humanity or sentience that connects us all. It's a call to find empathy even in the darkest of circumstances, to recognize the victims caught in the crossfire of grand schemes. What are your thoughts on this profound moment of empathy? How does seeing beyond malice change our understanding of conflict? Share your insights in the comments below. If you found this reflection thought-provoking, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into the deeper currents of the Force and the characters who navigate it. Until next time, may the Force be with you.